The most beautiful and self-confident women in Europe won't wait for your message on Tinder. They'll simply write first. And not to flirt, but to matter-of-factly schedule a meeting for tomorrow at 6 p.m. because they have yoga afterwards. Dutch women are anti-princesses. They don't dream of marriage as the main goal in life. They won't hide their salary or pretend to be weak to flatter your ego. Their independence isn't a pose. It's a stark reality you'll be reminded of when she, after paying for her half of the dinner, calmly cycles home on her own bicycle. Welcome to the Netherlands, a country where women unapologetically rule their own lives. And now I will show you how they do it and reveal all the intriguing details of their way of life. Imagine you're walking on a beach in the Netherlands and you see a woman. She is completely naked and she is absolutely happy. She is reading a book, paying no attention to anyone. And around her are people of all ages and body types who likewise do not hide their bodies. You might feel awkward, but they don't, because for them, this is normal. It's about a fundamentally different attitude towards the body.
From childhood, the Dutch learn a simple lesson. The body is not something shameful to be hidden. It simply exists. This mindset manifests in the smallest details. During summer in the parks of Amsterdam or Utrecht, you can easily see women sunbathing topless. The point isn't to attract attention. They are simply comfortable, and it's hot. They can sit with friends, talk, or drink coffee while doing so, without considering it a bold act. This naturalness stems from the famous culture of nudist beaches. Yet even there, it's not organized like a secret gathering, but with typical Dutch pragmatism. There are specially designated areas, marked on maps. People go there not to look at others, but to be alone with nature and themselves. It is a space that respects personal choice. When the body ceases to be an object of secrecy and shame, it also ceases to be an object of universal desire. The freedom to go without a bra on a walk or without a swimsuit at the beach is not a sign of availability. It is a sign that a woman belongs to herself. What do you think? Is such openness in public space a sign of a healthy relationship with oneself, or conversely, an erosion of personal boundaries?
Write yes or no in the comments, and one argument supporting your point of view. In the Netherlands, a woman can, without a hint of hesitation, message a man first, invite him for coffee, and when the bill arrives, calmly say, "I'll pay for myself." This isn't a gesture of independence. It's the norm. Financial equality here doesn't start with feminist slogans, but with a simple, everyday rule. Everyone pays their own way. Why is this? Dutch women start earning from their teenage years, many receiving scholarships or taking part-time jobs. By the time they enter the labor market, the gender pay gap is one of the smallest in Europe. They become accustomed to relying only on themselves and carry this principle into their relationships. What's most interesting is how this affects dating dynamics. When a woman doesn't expect to be entertained or have her time paid for, she takes far more initiative. She makes choices. She schedules meetings when it suits her. And if something doesn't meet her expectations, she won't endure it for the sake of a free dinner. She'll simply say goodbye politely and leave. Does this seem like an ideal or a cold calculation?
Do you believe such a relationship model, where everything is transparent and split equally from the very beginning, could take root in our society? Or does our culture still value the romance of a man taking the initiative? I welcome your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's discuss where the journey to adulthood begins in the Netherlands. It's not the first cigarette or receiving a passport. It's the first candid conversation. And it happens in the classroom, with a teacher and a specially designed doll. Dutch comprehensive education is not a dry lecture about physiology. It consists of practical lessons on consent, boundaries, and mutual respect. The core principle taught is your body belongs solely to you, and no one has the right to touch you without your permission. Crucially, these rules apply equally to others. You must also respect their boundaries. Here, Teachers calmly address any question, no matter how uncomfortable. Parents don't blush when children ask about relationships or bodies.
The Netherlands has one of the lowest rates of unintended pregnancies in the world, 5 times lower than in the United States, and 8 times lower than in Russia. More importantly, this approach fosters a distinct attitude toward intimacy. For Dutch women, sex is neither something dirty nor shameful, nor is it a tool for manipulation. It is a natural part of relationships, where mutual respect, pleasure, and safety are paramount. Now let's visit a place that never fails to shock tourists, Amsterdam's famous red light district. But set aside stereotypes. Behind the windows with partially nude women lies one of the most sober and pragmatic Dutch systems. To the Dutch, this is primarily a state-regulated business. Sex workers here are not victims, but entrepreneurs. They pay taxes, qualify for pensions, and receive police protection. They undergo regular medical checkups and can join trade unions. It is a legal profession with established rules and guarantees. And what do ordinary Dutch women think about this? Most view it with pragmatic acceptance.
They don't view the workers in this district as rivals or a threat to morality. It is perceived as a service industry that should be safe, transparent, and free from crime. Their primary concern is that all participants in this process are protected by law. This approach stems from a general principle. Adults have the right to make decisions about their own bodies, provided it doesn't harm others. Legalization has removed the stigma of prohibition from the profession and transferred its control from criminal organizations to state regulation. However, this reveals a key paradox. Dutch women who advocate for equality and feminism simultaneously support a system that many Western feminists consider exploitative of women. They distinguish between voluntary work and coercion, and their support applies only to the former. Do you believe that the legalization and regulation of this industry, as practiced in the Netherlands, is a progressive step ensuring safety, or an ethical compromise that cannot be justified? Write for or against in the comments and explain your position in one sentence. Now we approach one of the most noticeable and literally eye-catching facts. Dutch women are the tallest in the world, with an average height of about 175 centimeters.
Imagine walking through the streets of Amsterdam, literally surrounded by a wave of tall, stately blondes and brunettes. This isn't just a genetic lottery. There are very specific reasons behind it. First, of course, genetics. The nation descended from tall populations, but the main secret lies in their lifestyle. From childhood, they grow up in an ideal ecosystem for physical development. High-quality food rich in proteins and calcium, especially famous Dutch cheeses and milk. A clean environment, and surprisingly, bicycles. Yes, cycling regularly from childhood provides ideal load-bearing exercise for developing muscles and bones. Combine this with access to some of the world's best healthcare and minimal stress related to social inequality. All of this serves as fuel for growth. Now let's discuss what might be the strangest and most paradoxical aspect of Dutch life. You're walking along a quiet street in Amsterdam or Utrecht in the evening and see something that will shatter your assumptions about privacy. Large windows without a single curtain. Inside, like living paintings, a family having dinner, a couple watching TV, a student studying for exams. They aren't just neglecting to cover up, they're displaying their lives for all to see. But this isn't exhibitionism.
This is a deeply rooted philosophy. It all began with the Calvinist past. If you live righteously, you have nothing to hide. Open windows demonstrate honesty and transparency. Look, but don't stare is the unspoken rule. A glance into a cozy living room is acceptable, but stopping to scrutinize crosses a boundary. A window without curtains symbolizes trust in society. I'm showing you I have nothing to be ashamed of, and you respect my life without intruding. This creates a unique sense of community. You see how your neighbors live, fostering a collective feeling of security. In a neighborhood where everything is visible, crime decreases. Hundreds of eyes unconsciously watch over the street. What if I told you that Dutch marriage resembles a successful business alliance more than a romantic fairy tale? Here, you rarely find couples who believe in two halves merging into one. Instead, you see two independent individuals forming a partnership. Pragmatism begins with finances. Many couples, even married ones, maintain separate bank accounts. They don't just split rent and utilities, they often share costs for groceries, vacations, and even gifts for each other.
For them, this isn't stinginess, but the highest form of respect. No one owes anyone, and everyone maintains financial autonomy. Now for the most intriguing part, prenuptial agreements. While in many cultures this is often perceived as distrust, in the Netherlands it's a standard procedure. Nearly everyone signs one. It's not just about asset division after divorce. They meticulously outline each person's contributions to household expenses, how income from joint business ventures will be shared, and even how much time each partner dedicates to child rearing. This might appear cold, but consider it from another perspective. This approach eliminates countless hidden conflicts and resentments. No hints of, "I worked myself to the bone for you," or "everything you have is because of me." Everything is clear, transparent, and fair. What's surprising is that this doesn't kill love, it kills illusions. Dutch women enter marriage without rose-colored glasses. They understand marriage as work and partnership, not perpetual romance. They choose a man not as a provider or prince, but as an equal ally with whom to build a shared project called life. And now the final, most important question. Are they truly happy? From the outside, it appears so.
They have everything: freedom, independence, careers, government support. They can do anything, from walking naked on the beach to proposing marriage to a man. But behind this perfect picture lies a paradox. Dutch women constantly face pressure to be perfect. The perfect mother who manages everything. The perfect wife who maintains an equal partnership. The perfect employee building a career. And all of this with a constant smile and without a trace of fatigue. The culture of total self-sufficiency has a flip side. You don't have the right to complain. After all, you've been given all the opportunities, you're free, so all your problems are your personal problems. The result? Research shows Dutch women lead Europe in burnout rates. They've conditioned the world to their strength, and now the world isn't prepared to see their weakness. They've achieved the right to be independent from men, but have become hostages of their own ideology. Social media only fuels this fire, creating an image of a superwoman who cycles with 2 children, understands investments, and looks perfect without makeup. So what is the fundamental paradox of Dutch women?
They have built a society many can only dream of. Yet within this very society, they must constantly prove they are worthy of it. They have gained their freedom, but with it came a tremendous burden of responsibility. Do you believe such freedom is worth the price? Or have Dutch women perhaps managed to find that elusive balance so many of us strive for in vain? Share in the comments what matters more to you: absolute freedom with its heavy responsibilities, or a more traditional way of life that allows for vulnerability? If this discussion has been valuable and made you reflect, please support the channel with a like and subscription. Your feedback helps us identify the most important topics for new videos.